Hello all. Locust requires a basic knowledge in Python. However, if you are familiar with any object-oriented programming language like Java, you can just follow along. After all, I'm also a Java developer. Let's create the first Locust file. Locust file is a regular Python file. Only requirement is at least one class in the Python file must inherit the Locust class called user. When we start the load test, we give the number of users as a parameter. This class from the locust represents one user. Locust will span one instance of the user class for each user is simulated. Seems like too much of theory. Let's start the program. Let me create a first Python file. I'm defining a class called user. It's a user defined name. You can have anything. As I told you, this class should inherit the user class from locust. Let us import the user class and inherit. From locust library, I want to import user. Now inherit the same user. User will perform the task in the form of method. Let's define a method. Inside this method, we will insert the performance testing code in future. For the time being, let's put a print statement. As I told you, this is ideally a task that we want to perform. We need to mark it as a task with the annotation called a task. To do that, we have to import task, and I am marking it as a task. This one, okay. This is having a parameter called self. You can define any name for this variable. I am keeping the default, which is self. This represents a task class. You can fetch the property of task using this variable. You will get it later. Now don't get confused, just follow along. User class should define a mandatory attribute called wait time. It is used to define for how long a simulator user will wait between the execution task. Means in between of each a task execution, user will wait for certain period of time. Let's define it. I think it is having some conflict with the name. Let's change it as a users. Now let's see. We are getting a wait time. This wait time, there are a few methods to define a wait time. We will see all the wait time properties in later module in great detail. Now let's import something called constant. Now each user will wait for 1 second between task execution. You can give anything constant. Here you can give the seconds. That's it. It's a simple task file. Sorry, locus file. Yes, now it started the web interface at 8089. Let's open it. Okay, here it has a three field. Now the test is actually not started, it started a web interface alone. We have to give this parameter to start the actual test. We need to give the number of users. Now it will switch between first task and second task. There is no guarantee. Locust will pick any task as it likes. We can by default we can't guarantee the execution order as well as the weightage. We'll see all those in the later module. It's a simple task. Thank you. We'll see the next module.